Uh, okay, is that meetings being recorded by the town? Yes. Okay. And so we are, hang on, let me hit continue. We are beginning the meeting for Commission on Disabilities on Monday, July 12th. It is 6:34. I will be taking attendance. The first person, Mary Russo, we know that she is not able to attend, so she is absent. My name is Lynn Valancourt. I am present. And then I'll ask for a verbal yes from each of the members. Crystal Evans.
Present.
Present. Robin Torpe.
Present.
Okay, and also present, Christina Zaniti.
I'm here.
And Mary Beth McGrath. Mary Beth, you're here, correct? Okay, we can't really hear, we can't hear, but Mary Beth is indicating on the video screen that she is here. We can see Mary Beth, we cannot hear her.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That might be me. I'm going to disconnect from the actual video. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Mary Beth.
So you can't see me, but I am by phone.
Mary Beth, you can't use Zoom in the same room on 2 different devices or you get interference.
No, I know, but there's something wrong with the microphone apparently on the Zoom. So that's why I'm just going to do it by telephone.
Okay.
Okay. So the first item is going to be approval of the minutes from May 2021. So that was from the May 3rd meeting. So if everybody can just take a glance at your at the items, and then we'll give you a moment to make sure that there's no other edits that need to be done. Okay, can I have a motion to approve, or are there any edits that anybody suggests? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 3rd, 2021 meeting?
I'll make a motion. This is Crystal Evans.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I seconded. This is Robin Torpe.
Good, and all in favor say aye. Lynn Valancourt, aye. Crystal, obviously.
Aye.
And Robin.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We accept the minutes of the meetings. First item on the agenda, we have informational things from Christina and from Mary Beth regarding a list that we have on the agenda, the AARP grant, the water wheels, mail-in ballots, Sunset Lake bathrooms, Middle Street road work, and the August meeting. So I'm gonna let Christina and or Mary Beth take away for that.
I'll start with the AARP grant. We got an email that we did not get it, which is frustrating to say the least, but they had over 3,500 applications for this grant. I checked the winners last year and the previous years, and the 3 winners from this past year, 2020, one was for like Jersey barriers for outside dining. Another one was for a community garden, which I like that idea. And then the third one was for like a cultural mural in Boston. So they were lovely winners, but you know, an inclusive park setting I thought would be at least in the running, but we'll still try every year. And the winners from 2019 were similar from 2020. I think a park is as community as you can get. So hopefully maybe we'll change it up next year or think of something different. But unfortunately we didn't get it.
What we might be able to do is maybe around just after the holidays for 2022 to, because I know these things are due in April, correct?
So I think it opens I think it opens April 1st to like May 15th. I can't remember the exact dates.
So
yeah,
what
so we can
what do
brainstorm
is
for
maybe,
sure.
make a note to put it on the agenda for sometime after the holidays to be
Yeah.
able to start to brainstorm for what we would like to do for the ARP grant.
Yeah, and I mean
so that we
we've
have
done a
time
park. Yeah, we've done a park for inclusive play equipment 2 years in a row, and it just seems to get passed over. So I guess maybe we can be more creative in terms of a community-based application.
Do you think, Christina, that it might be because it's more money than the others?
The first one, definitely, I asked for $180,000. So yeah, for sure. This year, it was marginal. It was, you know, a couple of 10, you know, 20,000, 30,000. It was pretty similar to past winners in the amount. So yeah, the first one I definitely overreached, but hey, why not?
Yeah.
You never know. So yeah, I just don't know, like, you know, this past year outside dining was definitely you know, we got to get people back, we got to get them out, be safe, etc. So I understand that. The community garden I absolutely love. So you know, we can definitely think together of a community-based application, I guess, not around parks if it's been 2 years in a row and we've sort of got passed over.
Well, what we should try to think of is maybe, you know, go for their hearts and say like it's for the children, do something more for children. Because
No,
that always gets everybody.
Yeah, no, I tug at the heartstrings. I work with our grants writer. So, oh yeah, I lay it on thick. So
Do you cry? Do you send a video of you crying?
no. Maybe I'll do that next year.
Okay, well, we'll try to make sure that just after the holidays that we'll have something that will make a note to start thinking of that so that we have time to prepare and to be able to submit.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you continue on? We've done the ARP grant. You can continue on with Water Wheels or the other items on the list.
Yeah, Lynn and I were just chatting about, you know, let's revisit the Water Wheels. I talked to Chris Griffin. It is not the park. Sunset Lake is open. I want to say every day, but I'll definitely say Monday through Friday from 9 to 7. And the lifeguards are there from 12 to 6, and they bring it out every shift and put it in its proper place, and just, you know, let people know that it's available. Truthfully, I haven't gotten data on how many people have used it so far this year, but I think the lake has only been open for a few weeks. And with the rain, I don't know how busy they were over the past several days. So it's definitely there. The sign looks great. Everything's intact. So it's still hopefully being utilized.
Madam Chair, if I can jump on, it's Mary Beth. So the Waterfront Program opened a few days prior to the Braintree's July 4th celebration in June. And unfortunately, as you all know, we've had a significant amount of rain since then, off and on daily. But rain or shine, the Water Wheels equipment is available, and it's placed out by the lifeguards, and it is available. The signage is posted 24/7. It's a permanent posting that is placed just adjacent to where the Water Wheels equipment is located.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, continuing on to the next item, either Mary Beth or Christina, the mail-in ballot situation, because I know that we had questions regarding that, and we were waiting to hear what the state was going to be doing and what the town council was hearing. So if we can have an update on that, if there is one available.
So I spoke with Jim Casey, Clerk Casey, and it's still at the federal level. So unfortunately, it hasn't moved much in terms of which direction it's going to go. He's hopeful that something will be decided soon, but he sort of giggled when he said the word hopeful because it's at a federal level right now. So there's really not much we can do in terms of, you know, demanding an answer right away. He has a feeling when it gets down to each town, it might be up to the municipality, but he wasn't really too sure. I think that was more of a wishful thinking sort of thing, but right now it's just sort of at a standstill at the federal level.
Okay. And then because it is the beginning of summer and I actually have not been down at Sunset Lake, but do we have an update on the situation for the Sunset Lake bathrooms / moving of the 2 handicap parking places and like the shift in the suggestions that we had having to do with the parking lot and the bathrooms over at Sunset Lake?
Yeah, I'll let Mary Beth take that. I know she talked to the facilities director, I think last week.
Right. So at present, what the facilities division is aware and wants to move forward on the bathroom upgrades. But prior to doing that, they discovered that the shingles on the roof needs to be replaced. So that was a priority, getting that done, because they didn't want to undertake a restroom project only to have the roof leak and then cause an issue in the restrooms that were just done. So the roof, as of last week, they had almost completely finished it. They were working with the contractor to get that done. And then once that is completely finished, and then the next step is to move forward on upgrades to the restrooms to make them accessible. So our facilities director, Mike McGurty, and his team are already on board with that plan, and we'll be moving forward after we know that the roof replacement is complete. With the rain, that's kind of hindered some of the process. So I'm pretty sure they're almost completely done, if not completely done by now, but I need to verify that with Mr. McGurty. He's just getting back in today from vacation, so I wasn't able to talk to him.
And I have DPW tomorrow and I can ask him.
Okay, and do we have any information regarding when we were talking about the park and things like that, we were talking about potentially moving 2 of the parking places from right at the park over towards near where the gazebo is, I believe, and if that was going to get repainted, or do we know anything about that, or anything of the time frame, if it has not been done, of anything of the time frame for that?
Sure. So as you are aware, the commission endorsed the project, and then I have to forward up to the mayor for approval. I haven't yet received the approval from him. I do have a meeting of another nature with him on Wednesday morning, so I have a note to remind him about that approval and ask if he's made a decision on it. So I hopefully he'll move forward on this, and I can report back to, even by email, I can report back to the commission members to let you know where that stands. And then from there is connecting with the highway department and DPW division, Mr. Arsenault and his team, to see when they can place it on the calendar to get it done. Ideally, I mean, we'd like to have it done in the summertime, but ideally no later than the fall, before the winter hits.
Okay. Does anybody on the commission have any questions regarding the time frame or the things happening with the Sunset Lake bathrooms? No for Crystal. Robin, any questions?
No.
Okay. The next thing, Middle Street road work. So whoever needs to give an update on that, I'm not,
Yeah, so I was talking with John Thompson and Chris Trudell. So they have a few townwide updates in terms of street work, but Middle Street started, it was supposed to start today. Truthfully, I don't know if it did because of the weather, but it's going to go from Lyle to Liberty Street, and the sidewalks will be installed or replaced along the entire length of the section. I'm sorry, the work did begin the week of June 28th, and it will be completed by July 23rd. And both engineers and the DPW director told me, and it's, they spoke with the contractor, that when they're working on one side of the sidewalks, or one side of the road rather, the other side will be open to pedestrians. So I know they had, I think, Tasco out there doing curb cuts and curbing, and I think they're just gonna finish that and then move on to a different section of Middle Street.
Do we know when they're working on that street, do they just push 2 lanes of traffic over so that you can still pass in both directions, or does any of the street get closed down for that?
I'm not sure. I know the sign distinctly says, please find an alternate route. So I haven't even tried, just because I knew it was going on. I haven't even tried going down that road. So I'm sure it's whatever is the safest scenario for vehicles and pedestrians. Kids, kids are on break, they have bikes, they're walking, or, people are taking the bus. So I'm sure it's whatever the safest solution is.
Madam Chairman, I will tell you that, this is Mary Beth, the few occasions that I've been down there going from inspection to inspection, I have seen some details, but I can't say that it happens every day they're doing work.
Okay, thank you. So just so that people are aware that you can always do Pearl Street to one of the rotaries to try to cut off that end of Middle Street that's going towards Liberty. Just be aware of where the traffic might be so that you don't get stuck if you're going to appointments or anything along those lines. Anybody have any questions concerning Middle Street road work from the commission?
Do they have temporary curb cuts off the sidewalk to get around wherever they're working?
I can look at that tomorrow or ask if that's part of the scope of work at my DPW meeting.
Okay, so that's Middle Street road work. And the next item that was on here is the August meeting, because we typically take off August as part of the summer break kind of thing. So I did want to check and see whether or not that again was going to be the situation for this year.
Well, I think because the fact that we're doing it by Zoom, there's only 4 of us included, and then Christina and Mary Beth, it's just up to them. Because I remember one year we actually did it in August and we did miss a lot also. So it would be up to everybody. Either way, it's fine with me.
My concern is how many meetings have we already missed because we're legally required to have 10 meetings a year?
Well, this is Mary Beth, the only one to date that we've missed since January is the June one because we didn't have a quorum.
June was canceled because of that rally.
Right, I think people wanted to go to to honor that K9
right,
officer.
But the reason the commission meeting was canceled was because we did not have a quorum of members. I don't know what they were participating in, but we didn't have a quorum.
Did we miss January?
Not that I'm aware of. I'd have to go back through my notes, but.
Yeah, because we can't cancel. I don't think we should electively cancel a meeting, because if we don't have quorum in the future, then we're not meeting the state law for the 10 meetings a year that COD is required to hold.
Okay, do we want to take a vote as to whether or not we have a meeting in August?
Sure.
So, Roger, okay. So Crystal, you would vote to have a meeting?
Yes.
Okay, Robin, you would vote for B?
Yes.
Okay, we can have a meeting. It does not matter. It makes no difference to me either way. So do we have enough people to be able to meet a quorum for tonight? That's correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, well, go ahead.
Can I say something? I don't know if anybody was going to say anything, but how are we going about getting new members? I know we had a lot of issues, with COVID and everything, but since things are being relaxed, have we been able to speak with Mayor Chuck?
Mayor Kokora, this is Mary Beth.
Right.
Mayor Kokora and his administrative staff received talent bank forms from residents in the community, and it is his decision and in his time frame when he chooses to place members on boards or commissions. I haven't heard anything about the Commission on Disabilities, but when I do, I'll let you know.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mary Beth.
I do know that
You're
5
welcome.
people have applied to be on the commission, have not heard back. One had a meeting scheduled, the meeting was canceled. The person was told that they were not accepting new members at this time, but the state law requires us to have a minimum of 5 members, and that would also help for our constant quorum issues.
I understand that, but again, the mayor and the administration receive those forms, and the mayor is the one that makes the decision, and in this time frame, as to when members are appointed to boards or commissions.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and vote on an August meeting? Okay. So we have the motion would pass to be able to, yes, the motion would pass to be able to have an August meeting. So we will plan on having an August meeting on the first Monday of August. And that meeting is?
August 2nd.
August 2nd. So there will be a meeting at 6:30 p.m. on August 2nd. I do have a question concerning meetings actually during, now that more restrictions have been lifted. Is it the plan, or does anyone know, is it the plan of the town to be able to continue doing Zoom meetings, or have they resumed to going in person? And what is the status of that?
The governor has approved of cities and towns to be able to offer either in-person or Zoom meetings. So both options are still available.
Okay. And in that case, what we should probably do is ask the commission ourselves, do we wish to continue on Zoom, or do we want to go back to going to an in-person situation?
I like Zoom.
Personally, I like Zoom too. Not that I matter. It's up to you all, but I'm just being selfish.
No, me too.
I think Zoom is more inclusive. And now that we have the live captioning, that makes it
much easier
because we don't have to worry about cart costs, and it makes it accessible for people from home. I've brought this up long before COVID even started, of offering video meetings because of people with disability needing transportation at night, as well as PCA routines. And I think this is a better, more inclusive way to meet. I wouldn't have a problem meeting in person so long as we have live stream, but yes.
Hi, this is Mary Beth. Now, please understand that at present, the governor is allowing this, and legislature, if that should change in the future with the allowance for Zoom meetings, we would let you know in advance.
Okay, so we'll continue with a Zoom meeting then for at least August. We know that we have, you know, that availability to be able to do so. Is that agreeable with all the members?
Yes, but can I ask a question, Mary Beth? Isn't it most places that are opening up now, like for meetings and such, aren't they offering both? You know, that if a person...
It's really up to the board or commission to decide what their choice is for a Zoom meeting or not. There in Braintree, it's really all over. There are many that are still doing Zoom meetings, and there are others that are doing in-person meetings.
Well, can't we do both? I mean, we're a small, I mean, if that's what we both, like we decided, like say, Crystal, myself and Lynn wanted to Zoom, and say Mary wanted to.
No, the board either Zooms or you're in person. You can't have half the board doing a Zoom meeting and half the board doing in person. So
all right, thank you.
It's one or the other.
Okay, so so we'll go ahead and we'll do a Zoom meeting for the month of August, and then we'll check at that point and see whether or not the town has changed any of its recommendations, or whether or not that status has changed at all. Does that sound fair with everybody?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And let's see. I'm trying to think if there was any other items that that we had from the last meeting that we need an update on. Does anyone have, I know that we endorsed the $2,000 expenditure for closed captioning for the town. Does anybody have an update regarding the closed captioning, and whether or not it has been actually purchased for the town, or whether or not it's actually in use for them?
So this is Mary Beth. The closed captioning is available and is being utilized now for Zoom meetings.
Oh, excellent. Very good. And it's being utilized. I noticed in emails earlier, it is being utilized for this meeting in particular.
I'm watching it right now.
This and other
right
meetings.
now.
This is not so, it's being offered now by the town. This is another meeting.
All right, great. So then we have a follow-up then on one of the items that we had from the last meeting. So that sort of closes the loop on that one. Okay. Any other information? I do want to check on one thing though. Did we have the 4th of July parade? Did that occur?
I will, okay.
Yeah.
I had asked for the materials. Nobody followed back through on them. We did not have accessible transportation for people to be allowed to participate with disabilities. So I did not go as the commission. This is the first time because I didn't have anything back from Chris Griffin. He's the one.
What was being asked for from Chris Griffin?
Nelson was storing all of our parade materials, our signs, our banner, etc. I asked Chris in early June for it and never got followed through. So I went.
Okay, well, we didn't know that because we would have followed up on that. I had no idea that the material was being stored by Parks and Rec.
Okay, and we also didn't have accessible transportation. In previous years we did, but none of that was coordinated. So I couldn't put the word out for people to participate if there was no access to do so, because there's shuttle transportation from the end back to the beginning so people can leave vehicles, but if the shuttles are not accessible, then people with disabilities cannot participate.
Well, but I thought that you were coordinating with Camilla.
Nobody
I forwarded you. I did forward your question, or I sent an email.
You said I wanted a ride. There's a difference between Crystal wanting a ride and there needing to be inclusive transportation.
I apologize if I mistyped it, but you could have, you know, maybe reached out as well and cleared up my error. So I apologize for that.
So for this year, we did not participate in the July 4th parade. So, well, we'll keep it in mind for the next year, and again, be able to try to figure out what kind of topic. We'll try to maybe put it in the April. Well, let's actually put it in the February notes. We'll make a note in February of 2022 to start inquiring as to whether or not we want to be part of the parade, and if we do, what type of aspect do we want to try to focus on that. So let's sort of put that in the calendar and be able to follow up with that. So, but Crystal, thank you for your efforts. I know that it's this year was a little bit different since a lot of things were a little bit crazy heading into that time. So I do appreciate your efforts and thanks for trying, and we'll shoot for it again for next year.
I did go in the parade and pass out candy. I went with a family of a child who had just been discharged from the hospital after almost 2 years of hospitalization. And he wanted to be in the parade. And the mom bought a bunch of candy and asked me to make sure the kids on the sidelines with disabilities get the candy, because when people throw it, it ends up on the ground. So there were kids in wheelchairs and that had clear disabilities that I made sure to put it in their hands so those kids could get it too. So that's how I participated, but not on behalf of the commission.
I think that's a great way to do it. So thank you very much. And I'm sure that the kids really enjoyed that. Okay, any other, does anybody have, that's the things that I can think of. I know Crystal, you have a note. So is this an item that you would like to have brought up for next month's agenda?
Yes, as well as a question about our June agenda. The June agenda, we were supposed to have the police come talk about the parking enforcement. The meeting got canceled. The police were not on this month's agenda. Will they be at our August meeting?
That we are, this is Mary Beth. So they were not able to participate tonight because the police chief was not available. He had another commitment, so he was not able to make it. We are trying to coordinate both his and our chief of staff schedules to see when we can get them on a future meeting. The hope and goal would be either August or September, depending upon what their schedules are.
Okay. Second question from previous agendas. On next month's meeting, can you give us an update of the status of the benches in South Braintree Square that we voted for in 2018? They are still not.
Okay, well, again, this has been discussed over and over and over again. This is not an accessibility issue. This is a maintenance issue, and the DPW department decides whether or not those benches get replaced or they don't get replaced. But this is not an accessibility issue. It's a maintenance issue. And this
It's
has
actually
been
an
discussed over and over and over again.
But it is an accessibility issue for people with ambulatory disabilities that have a hard time in the square.
I will ask the DPW what their intentions are with the benches.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm also curious, we had a commission Facebook page and it was deactivated by the town about 2 years ago. And that is what we often use to put the word out about the parade and other stuff. I posted regularly through the summer, reminding people that the water wheels existed. We had a lot of interaction on it and the page was deactivated. Is there a way to get our page back so we can advertise things such as the beach wheelchair, detours for construction, etc.?
That is not a decision that I make or the department makes. That is handled through the mayor's office, and the mayor decides whether or not Facebook pages are activated by different departments or boards and commissions.
Is there a way to have a discussion about the Facebook page with the mayor's office? This happened under the last mayor. We're now under a different mayor.
Okay, and again, this has been reviewed by the mayor's office and the mayor and administration, and they're the ones that make the decision about Facebook pages. I'll bring it up to them and see what their decision is. But
Okay.
This is not only the Commission on Disabilities. They've reviewed all of the departments and the boards and commissions.
Okay.
I believe back when the Facebook page actually it was up, and then when we heard that it was going to be discontinued, there were concerns over items, not necessarily just for us, but there were concerns for items being posted without being cleared through the town, yet they were being posted on the Facebook pages because individuals were posting on the Facebook pages. And so it became very difficult for the town to be able to control what was happening and getting put out on social media. And so at that time, they decided to discontinue certain Facebook pages because they needed or wanted to be able to centralize and to be able to have input as far as what was going on or clearance on that. And so I believe that is how that ended up initiating changes within the Facebook pages and things, because back when we started the Facebook page, good heavens, I know you worked on it, Crystal. It was like Facebook was, oh my gosh, there's social media. And now, and so it has been in existence for a while, but I do know that there were concerns about, for all the commissions and for all the town things of how that information, one, would be decided as far as what was appropriate content, and two, how was that going through and being reviewed by the town before it's posted on a town website.
I was in constant communication while using the page with the mayor, one of the former mayor's office employees, and that is how we were deciding what was going on the page. I also know who was running a lot of the other local commission pages, and we would share the same stuff, but I would run it by the mayor's office first.
I understand, yeah. I understand right. That, but what goes for one commission or what goes for one department in the town has to go for the other. So it wasn't necessarily because of us, but right. The ramifications of it is that all commissions and all departments have to be treated the same. And so it was looked at across the board. So I do know that that is how it, the decision became initiated. And then again, it would be up to the town, because whatever gets posted wherever becomes, you know, it reflects back on the town. So once again, I believe that that's how it initiated. And so I don't believe it was anything against a particular commission, but just an overall control over social media and being able to try to see what's going on with that. Christina, do you have anything to say?
No, sorry, I was just saying about it, my daughter.
Sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so do we have any other items? One more, Crystal? Sure.
I have two more questions. I'm wondering as well in the next meeting, if we can get a presentation of what the role of the ADA coordinator is, what she's doing on the town side, because it's been about 5 years since we brought the position in, and I'm wondering if we can get an update as for what the coordinator is actively doing on behalf of people with disabilities.
Certainly.
Yeah, it seems like, so you're looking for trying to see what her job description is, what meetings she attends, etc.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. You know, what she involved with on the town departments. You know, I know like Kristen previously attended weekly DPW meetings. So I'm curious what Christina is doing on the town side with how the job is being, like what her role within the town is. And in town meetings, licensure, anything like that. So.
Okay.
Certainly.
We can we can get an update from the town on that. And did you have one more item for the agenda?
Yes, I've asked a couple of times about the street scan survey that was done in 2018. They made a big deal. It was in the media that this was happening. There was a press release, but we never heard anything beyond seeing the guys out on the sidewalks. I was wondering, are we going to see the results of this? Because they did make such a big deal that this was happening, and then we heard nothing after it was done.
Well, we're still waiting for it to be finalized through the DPW department with the company that did the work.
From
so once that's done, it's reviewed because they had upgrades and more requests that they wanted done as the project was continuing.
Right. When Kristen Zaccello presented this to us at the time, she told us we would have results about 6 weeks after the survey, which would have been all 2018. So we are now,
and we
2 years
after. And we thought that too, but that did not happen. The project was delayed. The DPW department wanted more information and requested it, and the company is still finishing up that process with DPW. From there, it goes to the mayor's office for review and sign off, and then I'm told when it's able to be released.
Okay. Can we get a update from DPW around this, where they're working on this? If $50,000 went to pay for the survey, I think
again, what I said was that once the DPW has all the information that they have requested, it then goes through the mayor's office for review, and then I get my direction from the mayor.
But what I'm asking for is, can DPW give us an update from their standpoint on what they're working with around this survey, because it has been 3 years.
Okay, again, I will go through the mayor's office to ask what can be released, where it's still an ongoing project.
Okay, so we will hear from the mayor's office on that. So that can be an item that's that we get an update on potentially for August. Hopefully we can find out in August on that. But the street survey was not just for accessibility purposes. Am I correct?
No, it was to do the curb cuts. It's the street scan. Are we talking the same street survey?
I'm not quite sure. That I wanted to just check with Mary Beth. Is what the street survey initially included?
It wasn't. It was not just curb cuts. It was streets. It was sidewalks. It was curb cuts. There were multiple things that were being looked for.
Right. So it wasn't. It's not just a. It wasn't just an accessibility issue. I believe that it also dealt with other items that might be affected when it comes to as far as work that's being planned and items as far as what happens with the streets, et cetera. So that they were doing the street scans to find out those types of items. And it also has to be coordinated with other work, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll look for an update on that. It wouldn't be the first time to hear that a project that you think is going to last for 6 months is only going to last for a couple. My poor brother's been trying to renovate a house, and what was supposed to be done in 3 months, it's not going to be done for 1.5 years. So, you know, some things do get delayed. So hopefully we can go ahead and get some information and be able to at least get an update on that. Does anyone else have any issues that they would like to have covered or put on the agenda from the commission for next month? Robin, do you have anything to put on the agenda?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay. And at this time, don't think that I have any others, just probably again a follow-up with the mail-in ballots if Jim Carrey hears anything, and an update on the Sunset Lake Park with the parking places and things like that. So I appreciate the updates on the shingles. Once again, that's another project that we thought was going to be able to be done before the whole summer, and you find out that there's a roof and boom, everything's going to be slowed down just a bit. So it's good to have that update and know that that is the case. So if that is all of the topics for this evening, I'm looking for, I guess, a motion for, oh, go ahead, Crystal, you have a question?
No, a motion, I'm making a motion.
There you go. A motion to end the Commission on Disabilities meeting for July 12th. It is 7:14 p.m. and Crystal has a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
And Robin Torpe seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Crystal?
Aye.
Lynn Valancourt, aye. And Robin?
Aye.
Okay, the Commission on Disabilities meeting is finished for this evening. Have a good day, everybody. Stay dry, and hopefully the weather turns a little bit nicer.
Night, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank you.